Howdy everybody, welcome to another episode of Non-Scripted Ramblings and the latest episode on our countdown to Avengers Infinity War. It's exciting. So, we're in phase 2 now everybody, just hold on to your boots a little bit, we're ramping up, the game is changing. Phase 1 all done, wrapped up, see you later. And we get to start phase 2 with the third Iron Man movie. We're going to talk about Iron Man 3 today, so that's pretty exciting. I watched the trailer before. This gets my vote for best trailer so far. It's really, really good trailer. I mean, it shows you a lot, but it does such a good job in misdirecting the viewer. You know, the whole twist about who the Mandarin is in this movie. Yeah, it does a really good job of setting it up, but also at the same time it kind of does a really good job of like setting you up for disappointment, because as we know, the main controversy of this film is what they did with the Mandarin. A lot of people didn't agree with it, even after it was kind of sorted out with the one shot, or Hail the King, but yeah, people weren't happy. But yeah, I don't know. The trailer was really, really awesome. Really, really cool. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Okay, so the movie itself. Lots of changes this time around for Iron Man and Tony Stark, because first off, this is not directed by Jon Favreau. This was directed by Shane Black, who is a very good director and screenwriter. And before this, I think he was most known for doing Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was probably his most recent film before this one, I think. And that had RDJ in it as well. It's a good movie, you should check it out. And yeah, he's also done The Nice Guys, and he's about to do a new Predator reboot, depending on when you're watching this. Yeah, good director. He does a very good job taking the reins from Mr. Favreau. Very impressed, very happy. Yeah, so, and then it's a different style of movie as well. You can tell, like, it's not the same as the first two films, because I mean, it starts with Tony narrating, which is, you know, RDJ does the same thing in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. There's narration in that, so it's a similar kind of style. And you know, it's interesting, it's good, and I don't mind it. It's cool. I like that we get a little bit of a flashback to Tony's, you know, Playboy party days, New Year's Eve in Switzerland. Now, for those of you who've been paying attention, obviously, this was the Switzerland event that Yinsen was referring to in Iron Man 1, and lo and behold, Yinsen pops up at the science conference that Tony's at. That was really cool, and it was nice to see him again, even though it was only for a couple of seconds. But the last thing he says to Tony before Tony walks away is perhaps another time. And this, of course, was, you know, nearly 10 years before the events in Afghanistan, when he met Yinsen and essentially became Iron Man. So I thought that was a nice little nod to that. Also, connections to the first film. We have the 10 rings returning, with the Mandarin himself, or, you know, is it, or who knows? We don't know. Yeah, 10 rings are back, led by, in this case, Guy Pearce's character, Aldrich Killian, who you meet in the flashback as well, is this kind of bumbling, kind of, or like awkward kind of man who just doesn't really know how to socially interact. He's got bad teeth, bad hair, bad skin, glasses, like he's just that cliche of the villain who kind of, you know, starts out as the geek or the wuss, like the really, like the weak person, and then goes through some changes and becomes big and badass and, you know, messes shit up for the good guy, which is what he does. That's probably one of the things about me that I don't like. I don't like that trope. It's been done to death, and I think it was a weak decision for Marvel to come with a bagging Marvel out here on camera right now. But no, I've never really liked it, the bumbling stuff. I mean, I like Guy Pearce. He's an actor like as an actor, he's really, really good. He's really good in this role. Once he, you know, assumes Aldrich's like, you know, suave and charismatic persona, you know, once he gets a handle on that, he's nice to watch. He's very, you know, he demands your attention on screen. He's really good to watch. But I don't like the bumbling stuff. I can't. I'm not here for that. I'm not a huge fan. But anyway, otherwise, what else? Happy is in the flashback. Very funny. I liked seeing him with Tony in that, still following him around. And then of course we're introduced to Rebecca Hall's character, Maya, who was just a one-night fling for Tony at that conference, but she's a, you know, highly intelligent woman herself. Geneticist, botanist, I'm not sure the exact lengthy title she tells Pepper she is in the movie. But yeah, she's really good. I like Rebecca Hall. She's a fantastic actress. If you want to see any movie with her in it, watch Christine. Look it up. Not the Stephen King version, obviously, but there's a movie called Christine that she was in that I feel is very underrated, and her performance in that is unsettling and wonderful. So go check that out. It's my recommendation. But yeah, I love her in this. She's good. She doesn't really have much to do too much, and she kind of rides the line of is she good, is she bad, kind of in this. She's very conflicted because she's clearly on some level she's a good person, she cares, but on the other by the same token, she's, you know, she's in it for I don't know if it's the money or if she's just in it for, you know, she wants her work to succeed and to be successful, I guess, and, you know, hooking up with Aldrich Killian was the way to go for that, and, you know, he's involved with the 10 Rings and he claims to be the Mandarin, so it didn't work out too well for her, did it? What else? Okay, so clearly, almost not from the get-go, but I guess kind of from the get-go, Tony's obviously suffering from the fallout of the Battle of New York. So as I said in my Avengers video, the Battle of New York changes everything. The MCU is never the same since, and this is the first example of that change occurring. He's clearly suffering some form of post-traumatic stress, lots of anxiety, and just, you know, panic attacks happening. He's reliving the events of, you know, carrying the nukes through the wormhole, and then all the Chitauri army and Loki and everything. Like, yeah, not a good time for Tony Stark. So it really sucks to see our hero kind of taken down to that level of like, I'm weak, I'm in trouble here, I can't cope with what's going on, I don't know how to process it. So he spends the movie kind of dealing with that, and he has a good arc with that, going from, you know, struggling to trying to you know, figuring it out. I like where we end up with Tony at the end, you know, it's quite good. Iron Patriot introduced, rebranding of War Machine and Rhodey's suit. They decided to kind of take him and paint him red, white and blue, which is fine, and I like all the little jabs he gets from Tony about it. It's quite funny. But that's cool, that's fine. Rhodey's back, Don Cheadle's back, kicking ass, doing awesome stuff as he does, which is really good to see. So yeah, I enjoy him in this movie, it's good. I just love that how this movie kind of takes everything apart of in the world of Iron Man. You know, because not only is Tony struggling with his anxiety and everything from New York, but it's you know, he loses his house in this. He nearly dies several times. You know, he has to kind of start from scratch and kind of do some good old-fashioned detective work to find out, because part of the main plot of this film is that these people are all these people have been dying, and Happy is in a coma because of this explosion that happened at the Chinese theatre in LA, and God, you know, it's a bit unnerving. So he wants to get to the bottom of this, and the Mandarin and the 10 Rings are involved, and it's all of this, and then, you know, Aldrich Killian is, you know, doing his thing, flirting with Pepper, trying to get some extra funding for extremists. which is, you know, the reason that Aldrich is able to be so suave and you know, in charge of everything is because he's taken that into him and he's using it to, you know, just... And he's gone mad with power as well. There's another cliche for you. Mad with power. But that's fine. There's some cool, like really cool action set pieces with the Extremis, and the effects of it just in general look really cool. The way it looks like lava underneath your skin kind of thing. I like that. It's quite good. My favourite thing in this movie though has to be when Tony ends up in Tennessee and he ends up in the garage of the little kid's house, and they're like kind of bond that they have. It's not really necessarily father-son thing, kind of is, but I don't know if you want to say that or not. I don't really care either way, but I love the little dynamic they have. Is really, really cool and a lot of fun to watch. My favourite part has to be, and I think it's most people's favourite part, is when the kid wants to go with Tony. He wants to leave his little town and go help Iron Man stop the bad guys, and he's, you know, and Tony's leaving, he's in his car and he's like, you know, the kid's like, I'm cold. And then Tony's like, oh yeah, you know how I can tell? Because we're connected. And then he gets the hell out of there, drives away, and it's so funny because there was a line, like he was like, the kid was like, you know, we're connected, it's a thing, I should come with you, or whatever he says, and yeah, he throws it back in his face. It's good. Also, another really good thing I love is when Tony kind of he needs the to access files and all of this, he needs to access a like, I can't think of words right now, it's great. He needs a boost from like a satellite, and he finds this like TV truck, and he gets in this, there's this guy who just happens to be the world's biggest Tony Stark fan, which is so funny, and he's so great. I love that, whoever that dude is, he's fantastic, he's so funny. Like he just fanboys straight away. He's like, Tony Stark's in my van, Tony Stark's in my van. Oh. And he's even got the beard and everything, he's got him tattooed on him as well, and it's just, yeah, I like that little banter between the two of them. That was very fun. Yeah, he says something magic. He's like, Mom, I'm gonna have to call you back. Something magical is happening. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really good. I like that. Some of the humour in this movie is quite good. Gosh, what else shall I talk about? Yeah, okay, so some other big changes to this film. There's no ACDC in this movie. What the hell, guys? We need Akadaka. Akadaka, Tony Stark. Akadaka, Iron Man. They're a thing. They're supposed to be together. It's another gripe I have with this movie. I mean, I love the movie, of course. It doesn't make this a bad movie because there's no AC/DC, but I don't know. Something felt a little off because there was no Shoot to Thrill or Highway to Hell in this one. So, oh well. It's alright. Maybe that was done on purpose, I guess. They didn't want to beat a dead horse, I guess. Interesting stuff too. This is like with changing in terms of the changes with Tony Stark. He finally gets the arc reactor removed from his chest. He finally goes under the knife, and they one by one take the little pieces of shrapnel out from his heart, and yeah, he doesn't need the arc reactor anymore. It's gone. It's over. It's done. It's the end of an era. And then we have, he destroys all his suits in the final big epic final battle, which is really, really cool and really visually well done. It's really, really awesome. I loved it. But yeah, he destroys all the suits in the end. So he's got nothing. You know, he's made the thing between New York and now in Iron Man 3, he's made like 30 suits at least, because he's, you know, they make a point of saying the suit that he's working on that's a prototype in the early bits of the film is Mark 42. So that's his 42nd suit. It's crazy. But yeah, they're all gone. A thing that's kind of retconned, I guess. I don't know. It's weird because we get this and then we go to Age of Ultron when we next see Tony Stark, and he's still got a suit, like, and it's like Mark 45, I think, this time around or something. and it's just, I don't, yeah. And then Civil War, I think they touch on it briefly as to why he destroyed the suits and what happened and stuff, but I'm going to rewatch Civil War and re-jog my memory on that exactly, so I know more. I'm like, I've seen it a million times, but I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. I can't remember what he says about the suits, but he addresses it in the movie. I know that much. But yeah, it's strange. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have? Yeah, I think there's a phase 2 thing about losing limbs. We're going to keep an eye on that as we watch these movies, because I'm fairly certain all the movies in phase 2 have someone losing a limb. So in this one, it's Killian has his arm removed, or, you know, and then, yeah, and then in The Dark World, there's limbs lost in that, and then Winter Soldier, Bucky, and then Guardians, I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I'm pretty sure I remember something about phase 2 Marvel movies. Everybody loses. There's someone losing a limb, and it's like an homage to Star Wars, which is really cool. Okay, I don't really have too much else to say. Oh, I love Ben Kingsley in this movie as well. He's very, very funny. The range on him is fantastic. The fact that he can go from being this intimidating warlord type person to just a bumbling, you know, substance addicted person is just quite funny. Yeah, really, really cool. I mean, a lot of people don't, like I said before, a lot of people don't like the twist, like what they decided to do with the Mandarin, but I think it's fine. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm not a, like I've probably said before, I don't really read comic books. I love these movies so much. I wish I could read more comic books. I wish I did, but I don't know. I just love watching these films. They're everything to me. So it didn't really bother me too much that there was no, you know, that the Mandarin was kind of, yeah, whatever they did. I think it was hilarious. It was fun. It was good. Okay, Stan Lee cameo. Just random little throwaway bit. He doesn't even have a line in this one. He's voting a 10 in a beauty pageant that's on the TV. You just get a quick shot of him holding up the 10, and that's Stan done. He's check, you know, tick. Stan Lee cameo, tick, done. What else do we have to, yeah, I mean, there's one of the suits kind of looks like a mini Hulkbuster when all the suits converge and help Rhodey and Tony save the president and save Pepper at the end. There's one that kind of looks like a mini Veronica, which I thought was cool. It doesn't have like the red and gold on it, but yeah, it looked kind of like the Hulkbuster. I thought that was cool. Yeah, and then, yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow, I'm glad they didn't kill Pepper. Not that I knew they wouldn't, but I'm really glad they didn't, because Pepper and Tony is just, you know, Pepperoni as the ship name is called. Fantastic together. They complement each other wonderfully, and they have great chemistry on screen, and I enjoy Gwyneth Paltrow quite a bit, and yeah, it was cool to see her be so badass. That she had the extremist put in her, and that's what ended up saving her life, and then she ended up, you know, saving Tony from Aldrich. She killed Aldrich in the most badass way, and it was so cool. I'm so here for that. I love that. She doesn't have the extremis in her anymore, obviously, because there was a chance it was going to kill her, but still, it was so cool. Loved it. It was really good. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, and the fact that Tony just says, like, Pepper comes out swinging the big giant metal bar, and then he's just like, I got nothing. Like, the man of 1,000 puns and one-liners has nothing to say. I just thought that was very funny. I liked that. Okay, so the end credits, I thought this was cool. The first, like, you know, credits before the you know, the black screen, the white writings, the crawl rolls up, was like, it had a montage of like clips from all 3 movies, and I thought that was pretty well done. I liked it. Yeah, it was a nice little way to wrap things up, because, you know, we don't know if we're getting an Iron Man 4. We're probably not at this point, to be honest, which is okay. I mean, Tony we've starting to learn Tony can work outside one of his own movies. He doesn't need to have his own movie to be, you know, whatever. he can appear in other films. Like, he was great in Spider-Man, he was great in Civil War. Like, it's totally fine. But I like it was a nice way of wrapping things up and going, this is where we started from, and now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're here, literally. I thought that was very, very nicely done. Nice way to kind of, yeah, wrap things up. It was good. And then we don't have a mid-credit scene. We have an end credit scene for Iron Man 3, which is hysterical. Doesn't set anything up for the MCU as a whole, but it does kind of, you know, add to the connectivity of things. You know, Bruce Banner and Tony Stark obviously became good friends after the events of the Avengers. Science bros for the win. And yeah, and so we learn that the whole time Tony's been narrating the story, he's actually been talking to Bruce about... I'm not sure who your friend is. Oh. But you can set that up in contacts on your iPhone. Thanks, Siri. Why? That's the second time you've interrupted my video. Oh, that's great. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Yes, so yeah, Bruce and Tony, friends, and then yeah, we find out he's been narrating the whole time because he's been talking to Bruce in sort of a therapy style, almost like you see he's lying down on the couch kind of thing, and then but Bruce fell asleep because he's not that kind of doctor, Tony. You should have known better. that was hilarious. I really liked that. And then we get the first little flash of Tony Stark will return. Yeah, so that's really cool. So now after these movies happen, we get the one little sentence just to be like, okay, the character's coming back. So even though this was, especially because this was the last movie in the trilogy, you know, people maybe didn't know what was going on. So yeah, it's a nice little way to go. Relax, guys. Relax about it, as Tony says in this movie. He's coming back, so it's exciting. Okay, I think that's all I've got to say about Iron Man 3. It's a great movie. I think it's better than Iron Man 2. If I had to say which was better, not as good as Iron Man 1, of course, but few movies are because it's just fantastic. So yeah, go check it out if you haven't already, guys, and return to me next time in a day or two, depending on when I put these up. But we're going to be talking about Thor: The Dark World, which is going to be an interesting chat because, you know, a lot of people don't really like it that much. I'm going to save my thoughts on that for when I do the video. I'm excited to talk about it though, because it's, you know, as I've said before, Thor's my favourite Avenger, and, you know, Loki's there as well, and I love talking about Loki. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been Kendall Richardson, and you've just experienced non-scripted ramblings. Bye-bye.